everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another STAMPtember exclusive limited edition. Today there are actually 3, but I am only going to feature 2 in this video. My third is over on the Simon Says Stamp channel, so please click the link in the description and check it out after this. So today's collaborations are Riley Blake, which is in the other video, Avery Elle, which is what we're going to work on right now, and the Greeting Farm. First up, I decided to create a slimline style card for my Avery Elle stamp set. The Avery Elle limited edition exclusive is called Bright Time, and it's definitely an ornament themed card. I kind of feel like there might be a theme this year. This is at least my second ornament card that I've created as part of STAMPtember, but I'm okay with that because I love it. Now, you might be going ornaments, but Nicole, you are stenciling balloons. I sure am. So it's a sentiment stamp set from Avery Elle, meaning that it's all sentiments, and then it has like the hanger and the little ornament topper and all of that good stuff, but not an actual ornament. And I have to tell you that at the time of recording and voicing over this, I have no idea what the die set looks like that goes with this. There is a die set, so maybe there is an ornament, but I am improvising because I don't have the dies. And I decided to take the brand new All the Balloons stencil set from Simon Says Stamp, and I am making my own ornaments. Now, I'm not worried about that little balloon top. I'm going to show you how we are going to hide that. But I am doing a rainbow of ornaments through the center of my slimline style card. I did a slimline style card, I believe it was last year, where I did rainbow trees, and that's definitely my inspiration for this design, where I'm going to have rainbow ornaments, and I think it's going to be super cute. We are going to see. Now, I did pick the largest shape from the balloon stencil set. I want to mention there's a couple of sizes at least in each style of balloon. There's round, and then there's the more traditional oval or oblong. I don't know what you want to call it. I'm obviously using the traditional round because I want this to look like round ornaments. I am using Simon Says Stamp Pawsitively saturated inks, and we are we've inked our ornaments. Now, it looks cute, but it doesn't really look like ornaments yet. I'm going to take an acrylic block, and we're going to take the ornament topper from this awesome Avery Elle Bright Time stamp set, and we are going to stamp a little topper with some charcoal ink at the top or wherever the little balloon string is, because I wanted some of my ornaments to look like they're tipped on their side. Look how cute that is. You could also use your Misty for this, but I just went ahead and used an acrylic block. It made it super duper easy, and instantly we have some beautiful ornaments, just like so. Oh my goodness, so cute. Next up, I want to stamp greetings in my ornaments. There are 5 greetings. We are going to stamp all 5. The ones on the sides are not going to really, it's more of a design element, I want to say, rather than, I mean, it is a sentiment, especially kind of those 3 in the center, but the 2 on the end, it's a design element. And I am tipping one of them upside down, or 2 of them upside down. 2 of the ornaments are upside down, and I think it would look kind of funny if the sentiment or the phrase on that ornament is right side up. It will not play well with the scene that we're building. The story in my head, as always, you guys. That's how I'm thinking. We are going to prep our cardstock with a powder tool. Oops, I unscrewed the wrong side and I dumped a bunch of powder out. Nah, we'll just rub it in. It'll be fine. Rub a little dirt on it, I guess, is even though nobody's hurt here, but you know what I'm saying. So we are going to use some embossing ink. We are going to stamp on these ornaments. We're going to sprinkle on white embossing powder and heat set. Now, I will say, because this was the first time that I had ever used this stamp set, I wasn't super thrilled with my first round of coverage. I maybe should have stamped it one more time with the embossing ink. But here's what we're going to do. we are going to sprinkle on our embossing powder. Let's just do that first. And then we're going to heat set it. And whatever I don't like, we can put it back in the MISTI and stamp it again. And so that is what I'm going to do so that my sentiments are a little bit more legible and easy to read. Can you guys see the vision coming to life? Oh my goodness, I think it's going to be super cute. When I saw this stamp set, this was instantly what I envisioned. Now, I do want to mention, I did stencils here because I wanted to do something different. If you watched my picket fence video at the beginning of the month, or you've seen any of my videos I did last year, obviously the Hero Arts Infinity ornament dies would be fantastic with this stamp set. So would highly recommend grabbing that if you want to die cut some phrases, or if you want to do cards similar to that picket fence design that I did. My goal is always to do something different with my cards throughout the month, or at least try to. So I didn't want to repeat that same technique, but I think it would be fantastic with this stamp set as well. Now, if you are at all interested in this Avery Elle Bright Time stamp set or the Greeting Farm Warm the Heart stamp set, I would highly recommend pausing the video, grabbing the link down in the description, going and purchasing whatever you're interested in, and then you can always come back and catch the rest of the video, because these are limited edition exclusives, meaning once they're gone, and they won't be restocked. Okay, now we need to do the ends, but I'm doing a slimline card, so that's going to be a little tricky. Because of that, I'm going to make it work. I do have a memory MISTI, which is the big 12 by 12. I don't want to get it out. Pure laziness, y'all. That's all this is. So I'm just going to stick my background in here. We're going to stamp our greeting off the edge. Again, this one's upside down because the ornament's upside down. And I'm going to use those last two greetings from the set. Now, I think I used everything from this stamp set except for the little ornament hanger, and then there's a round shape. Those are the only things I didn't use. So, awesome. You could even make little ornaments with that. I think that would be really fun. That circle probably is supposed to be an ornament, and you can use the little ornament hanger on it. But you know I like to do my own thing. So I just made up something. So now I am going to do the rest of the card. Now, as cute as this is, it's a little plain for me. And you guys know my rule, let's be extra. So because of that, we are going to take the holly and berries, and it's little teeny tiny, which I think is cute, kind of like the ornament toppers teeny tiny. We are going to stamp that on a couple of the ornaments. I felt like all of them might be a little overkill, but a couple of them will be fine. Now, if you ever have a problem with your especially brand new stamps sticking, if you take like a finger dipped in water, just a tiny bit of water, and touch the stamp, it will stay put. So I will often do that. I'm again just using my LIMELICIOUS ink to stamp those little leaves, and then the little trio of berries will use watermelon ink. Yeah, see, I started to stamp it a third time, and then I was like, you know what? No, that's too many. So I changed my mind. Okay, so now we're going to stamp the little trio of berries. Again, watermelon ink for that. And then we're going to take the snowflake stamp. I love this little snowflake in this stamp set. And we're going to take all 5 colors of ink that we use to stencil our ornaments. And we're going to stamp snowflakes all over this design. I already think the little holly and berries add such a cute touch to this card. Now, I found it easiest to just use an acrylic block. Because I'm moving around so much with the different snowflake image, I would constantly have to be moving it in the MISTI. So I opted to use the acrylic block instead. I just have a dry microfiber cloth with a little stamp cleaner on it so that I can clean it in between changing colors. And we are simply going to stamp all over. Now, I left this in because I made a huge error. Oh, I didn't leave it in. I'm so sorry. I smudged my cardstock. I took a eraser and I was able to get it off. Then I stamped all of those extra snowflakes. I didn't realize I paused my video when I did that. But look how much better the card looks now. Added interest, lots of awesome snowflakes. Now it's time for embellishment, because up until this point, this is a flat card. And even with the few embellishments, this is going to be a super easy card to mail because it's basically one layer. I am matching some colors of Pretty Pink Posh Pearls to the snowflakes in the background. I'm using the teeny tiny size, which is my favorite, and I'm embellishing the center of my snowflakes. And we're just going to keep adding until we get all of them. I'm using my favorite Simon Says Stamp triangle tray. And then after I've used that color, I funnel it back into the storage container and I grab my next color. This worked really well. And look how cute this card is looking. It's just so bright and happy. And I was really, really happy that the idea in my head translated to the design. Now, as much as I love this, as I'm finishing up the card and I'm adding the embellishment, you guys probably guessed, I need to grunge it up somehow. I just felt like it needed a little shimmer, a little shine, a little something. So my new go-to for splatter is the Frozen Fog Distress Mica Stain color. And the reason being, it really has the vibes of like the Lawn Fawn Pixie Spray, where it adds some shimmer, but we're not really adding color per se to our card background. So I've got my slimline card base. I was almost ready to attach my panel to there, and it would be really cute. So there is what it looks like without any distress, but couldn't get it out of my head. So we're going to take the Frozen Fog, we're going to spritz this over the background, and we're going to just, add a little bit of shimmery shine, but not really color. I mean, I guess it's a little bit gray, but it's not a lot, or silvery, I guess, but it's not a ton of color. And then we'll let that dry. We'll add it to our card base, and that is going to finish up our Avery Elle Bright Time, card. This is the STAMPtember 2023 limited edition exclusive, and so super fun. There is a stamp die combo available as well as a stamp set only, which is what I used for this card here. Now I put some acrylic blocks on that, let it set and dry, and next up, who are my Greeting Farm fans? Oh, I totally forgot. I did put a little crystal lacquer on the berries as well. So Greeting Farm, I always love what the Greeting Farm brings for STAMPtember, and this year it is no different. This is the Warm the Heart stamp set. Full disclosure, there is a stamp die combo and a stamp set. I use the Scan and Cut to die cut my images, and I actually die cut them at the time that I was die cutting several other STAMPtember sets. So they're already stamped and die cut. I have not colored them yet. We're going to do that here on camera. I am designing my card. I've got my stamped images. I've got some greetings that I pulled from the stamp set that I want to use. And I'm going to look at this and I'm going to try to come up with a fun card. Now, this is one that I didn't have a background in mind. I felt like I wanted a snowy background. The way my stamps are laid out, I feel like a landscape style card is what I want to do. But you'll notice from what I have laid out here to what I have in a minute is going to change just a little bit in terms of placement of the greetings. But other than that, not a ton. So I colored the face. And then I walked away for like, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours. And I came back because I couldn't figure out what color combination. I wanted to do something different I didn't want to do red and green. I felt like I'd kind of done red and green a lot prior to doing this card. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just felt like doing something different, and so pink and red it is. I colored her face. I added some sweet pink cheeks. I'm doing the hair now. A lot of times, if I have a hard time figuring out a color combination for accessories or the colorful bits to a card, I will color everything else first. So anything neutral, skin tones or fur, hair, all of that good stuff. So I am using some Olo markers. I did stamp my images on Nina 110-pound weight smooth white cardstock with Hero Arts intensified black ink, which works well with alcohol ink markers. I have listed the markers that I am using. These again are Olo markers down in the description below or on my blog. With the hair, much like if you've watched me color beards on gnomes or Christmas trees or things like that, I am doing more of a feathering technique instead of a blending technique, meaning I am not overly blending out the hair. I still want it to look like hair and have that movement of hair as well as kind of the highlight or lighter areas. And now let's do pink and red, and I think it's going to be cute. This is one of the rare times that I do not start with the background. I colored everything and then built the background. I would say up until the very last bit of coloring, I was not 100% what I was going to do for the background. I knew I was going to ink blend it pink, but I didn't know what stencils. I didn't know if I was going, I ended up using like a grit paste, but I didn't know if I would just do a stenciled background or a mica stain background with a stencil, you know, big snowflakes, whatever the case may be. So I kind of let the images dictate where this story goes. I decided to go for this bright, happy pink. I'm really loving pink and red for like Christmas holiday type of cards. And we're going to do like the base part of her hat red. The brim is going to be two-tone shade of pink, but I'm just using 3 markers to achieve that. The pom-pom is going to be kind of all 3 colors of pink, with the base being the lightest pink. Her jacket will be pink. The scarf will be red. Her pants red. Her little boots are going to be gray-black. And then we're just going to continue the pink-red theme throughout. And the brim of her hat, the two-tone pink, is pretty subtle, although I think you can tell that it's lighter in some of the areas than other. Then I'm using little dots with the mid-tone and the darkest color of pink to give the pom-pom some texture. We will even go back over that in a little bit with a white marker for even more texture. So let's move on to her jacket with our darkest pink tone. We'll start blending out with our mid-tone and then go back with the lightest and blend it out even more. And then I love that she's holding a snowball. Our snowballs are all going to have a minty aqua tint to them, as well as our cute little snowman. I love how he looks like he's almost rolling his eyes. He's absolutely adorable. Now, I want to say something too about the Greeting Farm images. A lot of our favorite companies and our favorite images to color probably tend to go more on the tiny side. What I love about the Greeting Farm is that they aren't super tiny. They're not huge or ginormous or anything like that. But to me, they almost are a little easier to color because the size and scale is not this teeny tiny area. And it also allows you a little bit more room to practice your blending or to use a few more colors or whatever the case may be. Before I move on to the bunny and the snowman, I am going to add some detail to the pom-pom. We're adding highlights to her hat and to her hair, little dots to her cheeks. We'll take a black jelly roll pen and add the detail back into her eyes. I've got a Stardust glitter pen as well that we will be using to make the snow look a little sparkly. These are some of my favorite go-to pens for detailing after you've colored in an image. I absolutely love them. Oh my goodness, she's so super cute. Really so cute. Now, the snowman, if you have like a small snow globe, I think he would be darling, like the Lawn Fawn snow globe, for example. If you want to make some shaker tags with just the snowman, how cute would he be? You can break apart this stamp set, if you will, and use different elements in different ways, or with other greeting farm images that you have in your stash. And of course, there was a heart. You guys know I had to use the heart from the stamp set. I was going to use the snowflake. There's a fantastic snowflake in this stamp set, and I ended up not using it, but I love it. And there's also other greetings. I chose 2 of the 4 greetings in the stamp set, but otherwise I used most of the other images. I'm coloring in my bunny, I think with the same colors that I used for her hair, the 2 darkest colors. I didn't use the lightest color. And then the bunny's going to have a red hat with a pink brim and a little red jacket, and again, holding a snowball. Don't forget my little highlight from my heart. How cute is that? This would even be cute for Valentine's, I think, especially with this color combination. Now I'm just going to add in my snowy color. I was coloring in the snowball for the bunny anyway, so let's go ahead and color in the snowman. Couple of shades of mint, and then we're using the 0, which is very similar to the blender for Copics, to just kind of soften those edges. It does push the ink, so be careful about oversaturating, but I love it when I'm not completely coloring an image in, as it kind of just helps soften those harsh lines. Some warm grays for the hat and the buttons. Red for the brim of his hat, and red again for the bunny. So we'll probably do all of that at once. Trying to be efficient here with my time. And then the carrot nose, I did pull in some oranges. I think I do that very, very last. I think we're going to do the brim of the bunny's hat first with my light and mid-tone pink. I didn't use the darkest pink here. And the brim, we're going to take a white pen and add detail in for that. And I also added pink cheek for the bunny. And then I need a lighter pink marker for the snowman because he's a lot lighter than the bunny or the girl. Once we have everything colored, it's time to add the rest of our detailing. Black jelly roll pen, white highlight details or embellishment. And then we are going to build our background. And I did choose to go with stencils for the background, kind of keeping it simple, but playing on the colors that I used for the outfit. In this case, pink. I know a pink sky is not, you know, realistic, but let's be honest, is a bunny dressed in an outfit realistic? Have fun with it. I almost think of it like, I don't know, like a storybook, I would suppose, or, you know, cartoons, whatever. That's kind of how I think of it. I let my imagination kind of dictate where it goes. So for me, I thought the pink would really showcase the images well. We're going to grab Spun Sugar and Kitsch Flamingo Distress Oxide inks. We will also be using the Lawn Fawn Hillside Stencils and the Lawn Fawn Snowy Sky Stencil. We're going to start with the Hillside Stencil first. And I was going to start blending this, and then I thought I need to use my stamp wheel from Altenew because it's going to hold this in place much, much better. So let's move everything out of the way. And this allows me a little bit more freedom to get the blend I want. So starting with spun sugar right above our snowy hill. And I'm going to take that ink pretty much up to the top, but you'll notice I'm lightening my hand. As I'm working towards the top, I'm just lightening and lightening. I don't want to over blend or make it too harsh or dark. Then I'm going to grab Kitsch Flamingo and we're going to go a little darker down near the hillside. And again, just kind of lightening up our hand as we work our way up to get that beautiful seamless pink sky. I think this is going to be so pretty and be the perfect way to highlight these greeting farm images. Now, without removing the stencil, I am going to take my snowy stencil, or actually it's called Snowy Sky, and I'm going to place that over the top. That's going to protect the snowy hillside. And we're going to take some Tim Holtz white grit paste. You could also use, you know, some of his snow paste, or you could even use a colorful paste, whatever you want to do here. And I'm going to do a nice thin layer of grit paste over the sky for the falling snow. Now, once you are done with this step, I highly recommend going and washing everything immediately. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. It's just really important. Otherwise, you'll be really mad because you will have glued on paste on everything. So I removed everything. My stencils, my palette knife, the mat in my stamp wheel, and I'm gonna go wash it immediately and get it drying. And by the time I get back from that, my background's dry, so it's a win-win. I'm decided, now this is where I changed from my plan. I like the greetings, but I feel like that snowy area down in the bottom right corner is the perfect place for the greetings. And if you've been here a while, you know I love a good two-tone greeting. I love it, love it, love it. So I am going to stamp Friends Warm the Heart with some Ballet Slippers Lawn Fawn ink. I haven't used my Lawn Fawn inks in forever, and I love them. My favorite red ink of all time is Lobster from Lawn Fawn. So the smaller sentiment, "'Tis the season to be freezin'," that is going to be stamped in Lobster right above it. And I love it. It plays on everything in the card perfectly. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and move that all out of the way and put our card together. On the back of our girl, we're going to put some foam adhesive. We're going to pop everything up on the card. The girl, the bunny, the heart, and the snowman. You guys know I love some good foam adhesive. And that snowy sky, just watch when the girl goes on the card. It just pops. I think the pink is perfection. I love how the sentiments almost are framed up with the girl and the bunny. To me, this just flows so beautifully. And then the snowman can kind of sit on top of the little hill on the right side of the card. And it's like he's rolling his eyes at them, which I think is hilarious. It's going to be so stinking cute. So I know my Greeting Farm fans and friends are going to love this one. Maybe you just collect the Greeting Farm each STAMPtember. That's awesome too. I love collectors. And I did make sure when I stamped Friends Warm the Heart that I left enough room on the right side of that, and you guys guessed it, so that I can put a little heart accent. I totally felt like we needed a little red embellishment down there. I don't think our card needs anything else. The pink sky, the grit paste, and our images, and just all of the colors and everything of this design, I felt like kind of told the story, but we need that little red heart to seal the deal and put a punctuation mark on this card. We'll just pop that in place, and then we'll glue this to a side fold card base, and we are all finished. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these 2 cards featuring limited edition exclusives from Simon Says Stamp STAMPtember from Avery Elle and The Greeting Farm. The supplies I used to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There is exclusive content, information, and behind-the-scenes content. Top-tier members will receive a handmade birthday card during your birthday month, access to D-Stash, and monthly exclusive lives, plus so much more. We would love to have you join our growing community. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell to always be notified when there is a new video or I go live. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time.